far reaches of Eastern Europe, there's a mysterious land where time has stood still and mythical creatures roam wild. A place where humans still pay heed to the beasts of the forest. Especially one. The European wolf has long inspired legend, admiration, fear, and hatred. Deep in the Carpathian mountains, its stronghold remains. It's May. Hidden in a forest in the heart of Romania, new life is stirring. These tiny wolf pups are taking their first tentative steps outside of their den into the big wide world. Born blind, deaf, and barely able to crawl, at 3 weeks old, their eyes are now fully open, and they're busy finding their feet. These hungry mouths need to nurse from their mother at least 5 times a day. The pup's father stays close by. These parents are the alphas of their pack, the only adults to breed. They lead a tight-knit pack with offspring from previous years and a few unrelated individuals that have joined from elsewhere. For now, the mother's duty is here at the den, keeping a watch over her litter, making sure her young charges don't stray too far. As they explore their new surroundings, a pup can quickly wander off and get into trouble. It's a dangerous world out there. Fewer than half the wolf pups born in the Carpathians survive to adulthood. They may be destined to be top predators, but there are other animals in this forest that can kill them. While slightly smaller than a wolf, this female Eurasian lynx is an exceptionally powerful cat. She can kill prey 4 times her own size. And unlike wolves, she hunts alone. She can only sprint for short distances, so she ambushes her prey from close range. Lynx have been known to kill entire wolf litters if they're left unguarded. Lucky for the pups, she's already fed on a roe deer hind. It will keep her occupied and well-fed for days to come. There's room enough for this elusive cat and her wolf rivals amongst these craggy peaks and dense forests. The Carpathian Mountains cut through 7 countries in Europe, stretching east to west across 930 miles of rugged terrain. It's a rare wilderness refuge on a crowded continent. Wolves have been persecuted the world over. But here, they're making a comeback. The Carpathians hold the second largest population of wolves in Europe. For a wolf, the secret to success is cooperation. Each wolf knowing its place in the family is vital for unity. By working together, the pack will have more success hunting. Wolves use a range of body language to communicate their mood and social status and to test boundaries. A low wagging tail signals this wolf is relaxed. As the pack members greet each other, playful jaw wrestling and gentle muzzle biting shows they share an allegiance. To show how confident he is, this male stands tall. Unlike this wolf, who holds his tail low, crouching down and licking the muzzle of his superior in submission. It's a constant give and take between the timid and the bold. This lower status wolf rolls over, exposing his vulnerable belly to the more dominant pack members, who keep a firm hold. Bites like this seldom do any real damage. But a throat grab makes clear who's in charge. These complex displays help to keep true aggression at bay. It bodes well for the pups. A cohesive pack means they have a greater chance of survival. The wolves share these mountains and forests with another highly social species, one that is also their prey. This wild boar sow is the matriarch of her herd, called a sounder. She gave birth 5 weeks ago, and her piglets are now able to keep up on the daily expeditions through the forest. Their striped coats help keep them camouflaged from predators. Within the sounder, only the matriarch, her daughters, and other closely related females breed. After around a year old, the males are usually evicted from their herd and have to fend for themselves. They'll wander the forest alone or gather in bachelor groups until the breeding season in the winter. The matriarch makes all the group decisions, including where to search for the tastiest food. She leads her herd as far as 7.5 miles a day, rooting for food. The forest provides the family with an extraordinarily diverse diet. They're not fussy. Almost anything is on the menu. Plants, nuts, eggs, insects, amphibians and mammals, including carrion. A strong disc of cartilage on the end of their snout helps them turn over the soil. As they bulldoze across the forest floor, they create newly ploughed ground that's perfect for grass, flowers and saplings to grow. The forest depends on the animals to help it regenerate. In return, it provides everything the animals need to survive. And nowhere is this relationship more evident than with Europe's largest land mammal. The European wood bison, also called a pheasant. It's July, and for this bull the shade of the forest is a welcome respite from the summer heat. He weighs in at just under a ton and stands over 6 feet tall. Over a century ago, bison were hunted to extinction in the Carpathians. But now a rewilding project is releasing small herds back into their historical home range. For this gamekeeper, the bison are a welcome addition. The Carpathians would be incomplete without them. But he must keep a respectful distance. A startled bull could easily run him down. This male is a king of the forest. His brute strength means he fears little. Bison have few natural enemies, apart from humans. Wolves will attack calves or weak members of the herd. But it's a rare wolf pack that can tackle one of these adults. And if they do try, the herd will mount a defense with horns and hooves. For the wolves, the risk can outweigh the reward. The bull's huge appetite matches his size. He can devour up to 70 pounds of vegetation a day. The flush of summer growth provides him with plenty of fresh leaves. His height means he can reach branches that no other herbivore can. Stripping the fibrous bark from a dead tree makes an easy meal. He will also munch fungi from rotting wood and graze on the tough grasses that other animals leave untouched. But as much as he takes, he's also giving back to the forest. Bison play a crucial role helping to maintain a healthy forest. They've had a huge impact since their return. They are the ultimate, if unwitting, seed dispersers. Their hooves can carry hundreds of trapped seeds across the forest floor. Their fur catches the hooked spines of burrs, which then drop off elsewhere. And the most important part, their dung is packed with new seeds and vital nutrients, including nitrogen, all of which stimulate new growth. It's also the perfect place for flies and beetles to lay their eggs. Although for the bison, there is a downside. In the height of summer, they're plagued by swarms of insects and other parasites. A dust bath provides much-needed relief. It's late afternoon, and close to a stream, a much smaller forest resident finds refuge. This fire salamander is emerging from the water to look for prey in the shade of rocks and plants. He's an amphibian, born in the water with gills. Now, as an adult, he breathes through a fully developed set of lungs. At almost 6 inches long, he could easily be snatched by a bird, snake, or fox. But his vivid yellow markings warn other animals to stay well away. He secretes a brew of neurotoxins from glands behind his eyes and across his back. If ingested, a tiny drop the weight of a grain of sand would be enough to kill a human. The toxins block nerve endings. First, there's respiratory failure. Death quickly follows. No animal would take a chance on eating him. Deep in the forest, the wolf pups are now 8 weeks old. With their long legs and large paws, they're starting to look more like adults. They're growing in confidence by the day and will follow the pack up to a mile away from their den. Even now, they're beginning to determine who's top dog. Play is an essential tool to working out the rules. It strengthens their social bonds while also teaching them the perfect strike. The pups are now partially weaned and rely on all the adults to bring them solid food. The demands on the pack to hunt are greater than ever. So the pack sets off, leaving the cubs at a meeting place away from the den. To track down prey, wolves rely on smell over sight. They have 200 million scent receptors in their nose, compared to only 10 million in humans. And the part of their brain devoted to processing scent is 60 times bigger than ours. It reveals an invisible world. They've picked up the scent of wild boar. Wolves can track prey over several days. And once they give chase, they can wear down their quarry until it's exhausted. As they home in, their eyesight takes over. With 250-degree peripheral vision, they can detect even the tiniest of movements. The pack stays upwind and out of sight for as long as possible. They assess the sounder for signs of weakness. A piglet is a much easier target than an adult. To be careful. The piglet's protective mother will always be close by. her teeth can inflict a serious wound. Silently, the pack fans out, using the cover of the forest. But a shift in the wind gives the game away. And there are too many adult boar in this sounder for the wolves to risk giving chase. The pack and their pups will go hungry for now. The success rate of a wolf hunt is low. In some areas, fewer than 1 in 10 end in a kill. They have adapted to this life of feast and famine. Wolves can survive for more than 2 weeks without food if they have to. But with hungry mouths to feed, the pressure is on. For wolves, the lure of domestic animals can prove hard to resist. Wolves compete for space in these mountains with farmers and their flocks. To protect their livestock from being attacked, shepherds turn to man's best friend. Romanian shepherd dogs have guarded livestock for centuries. It's believed they're descended from dogs found in Mesopotamia around 9,000 years ago, about the same time sheep and goats were domesticated. The dogs are extremely hardy, able to brave the unpredictable mountain weather. Before this shepherd can take his flock to pasture, some of the sheep need to be milked. Life here follows the traditional ways, by hand. The milk will be used to make a high-protein cheese. Not just for the farmer's family, but also for his dogs. Meat is a luxury here, and this is an economical way to keep his canine team well fed, ready for the hard day's work ahead. This shepherd has known each of his dogs since they were born. They grew up with the flocks they now guard. Modern wolves and dogs diverged from a common wolf ancestor around 27,000 years ago. While wolves evolved to be naturally cautious of humans, dogs are tuned into our every move, and shepherds rely on their pack mentality and cooperative nature to provide protection. They're heading to high pastures in the mountains for the next few days in search of rich summer grazing. But this is when his flock is at its most vulnerable. It's late summer, the prime season for wolf attacks on sheep. And the farmers will kill wolves in retaliation. The effects can be catastrophic. The death of a wolf can cause a pack to break up. Then, as inexperienced and desperate wolves disperse, they're more likely to hunt livestock. Conservationists have worked to bring back the traditional use of guarding dogs as a deterrent. And farmers are being reimbursed for any livestock they lose to prevent wolves being killed. After a long day's climb, night falls across the Carpathians. The sheep are locked up in a mountaintop pen. It's now that the flock is most at risk. Wolves often hunt under cover of darkness. The dogs stay on guard close by. Their extra thick, double-layered coats help to keep them warm. The dogs can smell and hear predators if they approach in the dark, and will bark an early warning if they sense a threat. So far, it's been a good summer. The shepherd hasn't lost a single animal. With his loyal guard dogs keeping their wild relatives at bay, he can sleep soundly. Other than conflict with humans, the biggest danger to wolves is other wolves. And today, the pack is on high alert. They've picked up the scent of rivals encroaching on their territory. If two packs meet each other, it leads to fighting and casualties, a risk to their vulnerable cubs. As the leaders, the alphas round up their family to go on patrol. It's time to let the rival pack know they need to back off. The pups no longer depend on their mother to nurse as frequently, so she leaves the youngsters behind under the watchful eye of a guardian. In the Carpathians, pack territory can range anywhere from 30 to 115 square miles. The wolves use scent to mark this enormous boundary. The alpha pair repeatedly stop to urinate on the trail, leaving behind their distinct calling card. Their urine and scat communicates everything from their sex to their reproductive status. As they reach the edges of their territory, they stop more frequently and loudly announce their arrival. A mysterious sound that has installed fear and inspired legends for centuries. It's a clear warning. Stay away, this is our home. Howling also reinforces strong social bonds. A rally call to bring packs together or stay in contact when they're apart. Their howls can carry for around 10 miles. With the day's patrol done, the pack heads back to find their pups. They've shown they're a united front and not to be messed with. Accepting the presence of wolves has far-reaching benefits. They're at the very top of the food chain and are an essential force for keeping red deer numbers in check. The deer are abundant in the Carpathians and are a favourite prey of wolves. In the summer, the stags hang together in temporary bachelor groups, while the females stay in their own herds, raising young. Wherever they roam, they graze on the leaves and shoots of saplings and tree branches. But without wolves to hunt them, negative effects would ripple through the forest. The deer population would grow out of control, resulting in serious tree damage. A healthy forest needs a healthy predator. Wolves share these mountains with the most widely distributed predator in the world. A red fox, primed to seize any opportunity. The secret to its success lies in its resourcefulness. He's a hunter, scavenger and forager. He can adapt his diet to almost any environment or season. A capable predator who will kill small mammals and birds. This woodpecker's nest hole is high up and out of reach. However hard he tries. But some birds nest on the ground. And he struck lucky. An unattended nest means a free meal. He gently picks an egg up. It's a valuable prize packed with protein. A feast fit for a crafty fox. But instead of eating it now, he's going to save this one and all the others for later. He carries them away one by one and buries them. Hiding them now means he'll have a store of food to call on in leaner times. If he thinks he's been seen, he'll dig up his stash and bury it somewhere else. But for now, his secret is safe. To find his buried treasure again, he'll rely on scent and a memory map of the area. His brain contains a special kind of grid cell. These cells have distance measuring capabilities and provide a kind of internal positioning system, much like a GPS. But if foxes aren't kept in check, their hunting habits can have a significant toll on birds, small mammals, and even amphibians. Every predator roaming these mountains is essential in helping to keep the natural balance. Lynx will kill foxes, which helps keep foxes in check. Foxes also tend to stay out of wolf territory, which prevents foxes from expanding their range too much. This in turn protects small prey species from being decimated. Change is in the air. With the arrival of autumn, temperatures begin to cool and the days become shorter. The forest undergoes a spectacular transformation. As the production of green chlorophyll slows down, the leaves on trees start to change colour. Yellow and orange pigments become visible. Finally, a layer of cork-like cells forms across the base of the leaf stalks, which causes them to start shedding. The seasonal fall in leaves accompanies the release of seeds, among them acorns, chestnuts, and beech nuts. This autumn bounty is a welcome, energy-packed bonus before the arrival of winter. On the forest floor below, wild boar and bison sweep up the crop. Their new source of food also attracts Europe's largest carnivore. A brown bear on the hunt for a feast before he begins his winter hibernation. As the weather cools down, the fire salamander searches out a place to hibernate for the winter. He's loyal to his home range and will return to the same spot every year, guided by familiar sights and smells. His overwinter spot must be humid. Instead of drinking, he absorbs moisture from the air around him through his skin. He can't generate his own internal body heat, so his hideaway needs to be sheltered from the worst of the cold to come. The deep crevices of a rocky outcrop are the ideal spot in the damp forest. To avoid the worst of the snow and ice. For the red deer, the change of season marks the start of the annual rut. This stag is on patrol and he's primed for action. Over the summer months, he's bulked up, living peacefully with other stags. But with autumn's arrival, that changes. This isn't his season to feed, but to fight. He's in his prime and has the antlers to prove it. Every spring, red deer stags shed their antlers and regrow them over the summer. His crowning glory is the result of a surge of testosterone over the last few months. Now, his antlers have stopped growing and have calcified, making them formidable weapons. He's picked up the scent of a herd of females, called hinds, close by. He's ready for battle to win the right to mate. His chilling roar, called a bugle, can be heard up to a mile away. The females are attracted to the strongest males with the loudest bellows. This stag increases his allure by wallowing and rolling in his own urine, which helps bring the females into estrus. With a flood of hormones coursing through his body, he's prepared to fight to the death to secure his very own harem. The males assemble in a gathering called a lek, each trying to claim their own territory. They constantly assess competitors for their size and strength. In an elaborate display, some stags adorn their antlers with foliage. He begins to round up some hinds, never letting down his guard. If he takes his eyes off the prize, an opponent may seize the chance to try and steal them. Tensions are running high. And then a challenger steps in. He's refusing to back down. Only stags of a similar size will actually fight it out. And these two are equally matched. Each stag tries to gain the advantage by staying uphill. He seizes the high ground and chases off his competitor. He's won the exclusive mating rights with his harem. Over the breeding season, this stag will continue to defend his hinds against other males. With all of their attention turned to the rut, stags have little time to feed. It's so stressful, they can lose 20 to 30% of their body weight. The abundance of red deer has provided the wolf pack with a much-needed meal. An adult can eat as much as 20 pounds in one sitting. Their pups are now nearly 7 months old and almost fully grown. They join their parents on the kill. Close by, the subordinates wait their turn. Only after they've had their fill is the rest of the pack allowed to join in. With excitement running high, competitive displays of dominance are frequent at a kill. As the family tucks in, they challenge each other through a range of facial expressions. Curled lips, bared teeth, and ears jutting out horizontally all mean, back off, this is mine. As the pups mature, they'll have to assert themselves on a kill and vie for their place at the table, just like the rest of the family. The pups will stay with their pack until they're 2 to 3 years old, helping the alphas to hunt and raise the next generation of younger siblings. As they disperse, the sons often move on before the daughters. They'll travel vast distances to find other wolves with which to form a pack, and some will even become alphas and start a family of their own. In the Carpathians, all predators and their prey have a vital role to play, maintaining the healthy balance of life in these ancient forests. On an increasingly crowded continent, these wild mountains provide a refuge like no other, and a sliver of Europe as it once was.
Hey Love Nature fans, be sure to like and subscribe to catch all our wild animal stories. Get closer to nature right here on YouTube.